Hello and welcome to the second ever Tartan Touchdown Chat Show. On this episode, teams that have reached the Women's Flag Football League finals date on the 22nd of March. Tartan Touchdown Chat Show is a format we've created to allow us to speak to all 8 teams that have made it into the playoffs. Episode 1 was released last Wednesday, so make sure you check that out on all your major podcast platforms and also on our YouTube, obviously after you finish watching and listening to this episode first. Joining me in the hosting chair tonight is Sarah. After being an emergency quarterback for episode 1, she's here as a planned appearance. How are you, Sarah?
I'm great. I feel slightly more prepped for this one, so that's always good. It wasn't a put me in coach, I promise I got it. But yeah, no, really looking forward to chatting with some more amazing players from some amazing teams ahead of next week. So yes, or technically this week by the time this is out.
Yes.
The magic of podcasting.
Yes. So, like episode 1, we've paired the quarterfinalists with a direct opponent for the previews. So let me introduce tonight's guest. First up, we have a Manchester Titan and also a fellow podcaster. It's Tika Marcucci from Manchester Titans and the Talking Flag podcast. Tika, how are you?
Hi, thanks for having me. No, I'm really well, thank you.
Perfect. And the Titans will take on Grace Fury from Leicester Huntsman. Welcome, Grace.
Hey, lovely to be here. I'm so excited.
Excellent. Good. And the first guest from the final pairing of finals day is Coventry Panthers and Lottie the Friend. How are you, Lottie?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. And their opponents tonight, represented by their head coach, Adam Berry. It's the Sheffield Giants. It'll be good to get a head coach's view on the topics tonight. So welcome, Adam.
Hey, Dan. Thanks for having me today. It's really exciting to be here.
Excellent. Good. So thank you all for joining us ahead of final day. We do know you have got a lot of prep going on and stuff like that, so we do appreciate you giving up the time for us. For those that are listening and watching, let me talk you through how the show is going to work. If you haven't already watched episode 1, you won't have a clue. So first of all, we're going to have a guest on to discuss their regular season, and all the other guests will remain backstage. We'll then bring their direct opponents from quarterfinals on to discuss their regular season on a solo chat, and then we'll bring them both together to talk about their matchup on the day, and then we'll do that for the second matchup as well. Hope it runs a lot smoother than I was at just explaining that. So first of all, we're going to start with Tika and the Manchester Titans. So Lottie, Grace and Adam, I'm going to put you backstage and we'll bring you back in due course. So bear with me just while I do that. Make sure I put the right people away. Okay, that was a lot smoother than it was the other night. So Tika, Sarah is going to have a chat with you and take you through your regular season, and then we'll bring in Grace after that. So Sarah, over to you.
Perfect. So Tika, welcome to Tartan Touchdown. So let's start all the way back at game day 1. So the season opened with a challenging loss to the East Kilbride Pirates Black, but followed up with a dominant win over the East Kilbride Pirates Red. What did you take away from that opening day, both the struggles and the success from it?
I think we really struggled like the first half of the season, both offense and defense. I think we were really trying to find our feet again, and we've had a lot of new players as well. And we've had a new defensive system. So I think everyone was just trying to get back into it and trying to figure things out again. So I think particularly our first half of the season has not been great. So we definitely made a better comeback after that, after Christmas, I'd say. And to be fair, EKP Red is always a very difficult one to play against. As you can see, they're in the top 3 again, as usual. It's a very, very good team. It's I really like playing against them. It's good. It's a bit physical. It's there's real competition there. So I really enjoyed it. But yeah, unfortunately, there were 2 games voided as well that game day, which was a shame for us because we probably could have won those 2 games. But yeah, there's nothing we can do about that. But yeah, so a bit of a tricky start of the season, I'd say, for us.
Yeah, because obviously we've moved to like game day 2 specifically. Obviously, you lose to Leeds Samurai, but you then respond well with a strong win against the Manchester Titan Bees. So it seems obviously that it's just the back and forth. How important was the win against the Manchester Titan Bees for the team morale at that stage?
I think very important. It was mainly because it's a derby, isn't it? We couldn't lose that game. I think everyone felt quite nervous that we just couldn't lose. So it was important, I think, for our coach as well, because the Bees is a new team. They're all rookies. And we're quite experienced as the Prem team. So it was really important for us to win that game. And we won, thankfully.
No, for sure. And then obviously the draw with the Sheffield Giants then kept things tight in the standings for you. And then was there anything else kind of you picked up at the end of that game day too, to be like, okay, now we're moving forward, this is what we're going to take the approach for?
Yeah, I think it was the defense got better over time. And because the defense got better, the offense got better, in scrimmage, in practice. So at some point we really struggled moving the ball as the offense, as the defense got better. So I think it was really, you can see that progress for both offense and defense in our team this year. Like I said, this new defensive system seems to work pretty well. So because of the defense, we got better as well in offense, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And then moving to game day 3, so you win against the Aberdeen Snowcats, which seemed to spark that kind of momentum for you, even despite the close loss to East Kilbride Pirates Black. What do you feel, there was anything like that just clicked for everybody on that game day?
I think everyone was feeling less stressed, I think. Just really enjoying the game. When that stress level is just at the right point, let's say, that's when we perform well, and that's when we also have fun. It's called a flow state, isn't it? So that's a bit of psychology there. But I think we all, sorry, I didn't want to pull on, but that's how it is, I think. So I think we all felt quite relaxed. We were having fun. We were enjoying what we were doing. And that's where the performance came as well.
And where the magic and the connectivity between everybody can really start to flow. If you would like an interesting fact though for you based on your season, your loss that day to East Kilbride Pirates Black is within a score, which makes you the only team to have held the Pirates Black within 3 all season. Do you think this is a sign that maybe you guys have what it takes to upset who are, we're presuming are the favourites for the finals?
Finals, I don't want to be pessimistic, but it will be tough for us. It will be really tough. I think it will be something for us in the future, because the thing is, we've managed to maintain players yearly, but we've also lost players. So we don't really have like that solid team that, for example, a Coventry Cougars has. I mean, it's been the same team for years. Most of the players, not everyone. So they have a really solid core of players that just perform, and they're all athletic. They're all individually good players. And I think that's what we're working towards. So we're not there yet. And I don't want to say I'd be surprised, because I really want my team to win, but I think EKB is just a step ahead of us, both offense-wise and defense-wise. Even defense-wise, if you look at them, the points against, it's just very low. Yeah. So...
I mean, never say never. Who knows? Who knows what will happen? And
I'd like to be optimistic, but I also like to be realistic.
Yeah, of course. And then kind of obviously moving towards those final couple of game days. So you have back-to-back wins over the Manchester Titans Bees and the Sheffield Giants. And then was there kind of that sense there the team was really kind of moving forward and hitting that stride?
Yes, that's really when we kind of just woke up, I think, and everything started to click, and we just played as we should have played all season, really.
Yeah. And then your shutout win against Aberdeen Snowcats was particularly impressive. Was there anything that you think really clicked really for the defense in that game for that?
Yes. So particularly the first half of the game. Do you mean the 38-0 score? Yeah. The defense was playing really well. And absolutely clicked. And offense as well, because we played, we won 26-0, I believe, in the first game. So again, another 12 points extra in the second game. And it just flowed again. Yeah, everyone was feeling good. And I think we kind of, passed that hurdle of, are we going to make the playoffs or not? We had that out of the way, so the stress levels were already lower at that stage.
Yeah. And then when you go into your final game day, obviously it ends with convincing wins over the Cheshire Huskies and Leeds Samurai. And then obviously with what you were just saying there about how the team were kind of, okay, we can be a bit more relaxed now. We kind of see where this is going. How important were those kind of final wins for you in heading confidently into your quarterfinals?
So Leeds particularly was very important for us. For some reason, we always struggle against Leeds, always. In every playoff, during the finals, we always struggle against them. So we've done a lot of scout, to be fair, a lot. So we kind of just knew what they were going to do. And we were so well prepared that we could just kind of call what they were going to call like before them. We were just really, really well prepared. And I think we did just a lot of scout like you should do, but particularly with Leeds, and it paid off. Yeah,
for sure. Well, thank you. Congratulations to you and the Titans for making it to finals day. Dan's now going to bring Grace in, obviously, who is your matchup for the first half part, to go through the Leicester Huntsmen, and then we will get you back on to discuss your quarterfinal.
Oh, great.
Perfect. Great. Let me just bring Grace in, and then I'll get her backstage for a second to find that. There we go. So, Grace, welcome back. In terms of your regular season, you started off game day 1 with a 3-1 record with 3 comfortable wins, 173-0 in the first 3 games. 3 of the first 4 games, you then had a 47-0 loss to the Coventry Panthers. Absolutely no shame in that, but you must have been pleased to get off to that start of the season, especially those 3 first games where you didn't concede a point and you scored so many points.
We were absolutely so pleased. We didn't have our starting quarterback. We didn't have Jess with us. So it was Charlotte Deer quarterbacking and then I quarterbacked for a game. So the fact that we've managed that is absolutely incredible. And playing against those teams, it was tough games. The scores do not reflect how tough those games were.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I mean, all the games across the league are difficult games. As you say, the scores sometimes maybe don't reflect that, but if you turn up on offense, you still need to do all the defensive side of the ball to get that 0 as well. So that doesn't happen just by accident. So a great start to the season. Getting into game day 2, you then had a bit of a reverse. We're 1-3 record for game day 2, which put you on 4-4. What kind of happened on that game that you felt that maybe didn't be as successful as the first one?
I think, this game day we had a lot of injuries. A whole lot of injuries. I'd just come out of hospital. We had some people who were ill. We had so many injuries. And these were some very tough teams. And they just played better than we did that day. We started with a win, which put us on a high. And I think we kind of let it carry us through the rest of the games. And we didn't put in as much effort as we could have. We could have won some of those games.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, the second game day, it was the Cougars and the Panthers he's lost to, which there's no shame in that. It's two of the best teams in the league. But then you've got the Amazons as well, which was a very tight game. It was a 7-6 game. For flag football to finish 7-6 must have been an absolute defensive masterclass for both teams.
It was, and it really is true that defense wins games because they defended the extra point and we didn't.
Yeah, that is what I love about flag football. It is sometimes such the fine margins of, like you say, as an extra point, and it is such a difficult game to, if you get behind or you get so far ahead, it is difficult to sometimes catch up. But when you have 2 teams that are getting into game day 3, then you had another tight win against the London Flame where he's won 13-6. So another quarter-final team that he's managed to defeat. He's been 3-0 on game day 3, so he's beat the. What was saying? I've got it here. He's 3-0, so he's been into a good position of being 9-5 after that. So how was the kind of mood in the camp at that point?
So at this point, we'd really started to work on our teamwork and our communication. We've got a big squad. We have 21 girls in our squad, which sounds really crazy because the average age of our team is 21. So we are a very young team that's relatively new. This is our second season playing women's. And we are still working on that communication value, especially on the field. And I feel like that's when it really started to click for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think with flag football, with some players having to play both ways on teams, like having a big squad must be a massive advantage for you against some of the teams that you play against.
Oh yeah, 100%, because we can field a lot of our girls anywhere on the field and they will absolutely shine in those positions.
Yeah, excellent. So getting to the last game day, you basically you lost a tie to wrap up the season, but that tie was enough to give you the number 3 seed ahead of the London Flames. So again, it was another tight game against the London Amazons, this time 7-7 to get the tie. So it must just be something with you 2 teams that you just don't want to lose or don't want to win one of the 2 of them.
I think it is the fact that they just have such a strong defense and we're able to match it with our defense.
Yeah.
It isn't that game against the Amazons both times. It was not an offensive game. It was a game for the defenses.
Yeah, I think you can see that by the scores of a total of 14-13 across 2 games. Sometimes that's 3 drives in a normal game of football. Not excellent. I mean, across your whole season, you did have a lot of tight games. There was 6 games that you had that were decided by a score or less. So you know how to either hang in if you're behind or edge out the win. How do you think that helped you get into finals days?
A lot of people are going to underestimate Leicester Huntsmen because we are a new team. We're very young. It's people aren't expecting us to show out like we're going to. And we can hold them to a point or two or to a score or two for that entire game. And that's where we can really shine because we can come with the big plays late in the game.
Yeah, no, it's going to be key come finals, David. It doesn't matter who you're up against. You need to stay in the game. You need to not let someone get out ahead of it in front of you. So looking forward to seeing how your defence turns up on the 22nd because I'm pretty sure it will against these opponents. So that's excellent. How would you summarise your regular season then?
I'd say it was amazing. This season was absolutely amazing. I enjoyed it so much, being able to play these teams, and honestly, I've never had such fun at a flag game because I'm there with my best friends and we're sat and we're having a laugh and we're having fun on the field as well as off the field. Yeah. The fact that I'm able to do that and then also go over to another team at the end of the day and have a chat, it's that real community in the women's flag scene.
Yeah, no, excellent. That's great. Thanks very much for taking us through that. We are really looking forward to seeing you guys at the finals day. So, talking about finals day, let's bring Tika back in and Sarah will talk you through your matchup. No animosity, we're all friends and family here.
And as if by magic, Tika has a beard. Okay, well, let's break it down. So, Grace, so your team has shown some great resilience this season, bouncing back from some tough results with impressive wins. What do you say that tells you about the character of your squad moving on?
That we are not going to give up because we're there to hold each other up. So when somebody's feeling down the sideline, we can build them back up, even if it does take a few minutes. And it's the fact that we're there to have fun. We're not there to win and lose. Obviously, a win would be lovely, but we are there to have fun. And I feel like that really shows with a lot of our games.
Yeah, for sure. And then, Tika, you obviously ended the season on a really great, solid run of victories. What positives are you taking from that strong finish and with you to the quarterfinal?
I think because that second half of the season was so strong, we're carrying that into the final. So I think we're really ready. Everyone is really excited. And I think a bit different from Grace, we're there to win, just to win. Fun or no fun, it's winning or not. We don't want to go home with empty hands. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I think the team is ready to fight for their spot.
Yeah. And then obviously, Grace, the teams deliver some really standout defensive performances this season, including several shutouts. So how much confidence does that give you heading in to the playoffs?
I'm really confident in our defence. So Charlotte Deer is our defensive captain and she's already won a European Championship. We've got an amazing defence that has got years of experience behind them and I'm really confident in them.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. This is so wholesome. I love this part. This is great. I think the Titans have faced plenty of close contests this season. So how valuable do you think that experience is for you heading into this matchup?
It's actually the first time in 2 years, I think, that we're not facing the Cougars, which we're so happy about because we're always there. Oh, Cougars again. Let's probably just pack up and go home straight away. I don't want to, but no, I'm actually quite excited to play you guys, Grace, as first game. It's going to be different for us this time round. And yeah, you guys have had a really good season, and you've got, like you're saying, some really young players. They're all upcoming, and it seems like a really friendly team. You're all very, very tight, I think. I mean, that's how it looks, which is nice. And yeah, we're really looking forward to play you guys and see how we match up. Yeah.
Tika's like, I'm ready to shut this down. No, I'm no, of course not. Of course not. Again, we're all friends. It's all good. So,
Yeah.
and kind of on that note, kind of Grace, the Titans are known for their like attacking threat. And how do you think the team is going to prepare for this style of matchup?
Well, we did play in the game day hosted by the Manchester Titans, so we do have a little bit of footage that we've all been diligently watching to see if we can figure it out. But honestly, it's just more figuring out how we're going to shut out Tika.
Well, can I tell you something? I'm not playing.
Let me put it in the group chat.
Yeah, I'm injured, unfortunately. Yes. You're not going to say it's a shame, are you?
Such a shame.
I'll be there to support everyone, but unfortunately, I've literally just had an operation, so I can't. I won't be ready, unfortunately.
And Grace is the list to decide. Like, okay, great.
But yeah, you've got so many great attacking players. You've obviously got Charlotte Townsend, who's is she 17 now?
I believe she is. She's very young. Yeah, our blitzer. She's really good. She's really
good. She is
good.
fast.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously you've got Katie Sykes as well. So it's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah, I think it will be a really, really good first game. Like a bit of a wake up. Like, let's go, first game of the finals. And I think it will be really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like it's going to be. This is one that I'm pretty looking forward to because I think it'll be great. And then kind of just finally, Tika, on the flip side of what we're talking about for how they can prepare for the attacking threat, with the Huntsmen have shown they can be a really tough team to break down the mindset and kind of what they're kind of building at the moment. What do you think the Titans can do heading into a game like that to kind of maybe knock that down?
Yeah, we're doing a bit more scout in the last first 2 weeks, leading up, to the finals. But I think for us, for defense, we are individually really good this season. I think it's just, keeping that confidence. It sounds really basic, but sometimes we just kind of forget what we're doing, and then that's fatal in a game. So I think we just have to be really consistent with our calls and really consistent with what we've been doing in the second half of the season, really. Because when you look at our, conceded points from last year compared to this year, it's half. So we've definitely progressed and developed as a defensive squad. And we've got some really good players. Some people who can catch as well, which is nice.
Always a bit, always a benefit. And always good. Well, thank you both. That was great. Good luck to you both in the quarterfinals. I'm again really looking forward to this matchup. So yeah, I can't wait to see it. And well, when this podcast comes out this week. So I'm now going to say goodbye to you both for now, and we're going to bring Lottie in to talk about the Panther season ahead of the quarterfinals.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now we are joined by Lottie, who is from the Coventry Panthers. So Lottie, thanks so much for sitting back and waiting.
No problem.
Yeah, sometimes it's just nice. It's nice not to go first because you can just sit and enjoy everybody else speaking for a while. But let's start with game day 1 of your incredible season. So it opens with a forfeit win, followed by dominant victories over Leicester Huntsmen and Sydney Spurs. How crucial do you think that strong start was in setting the tone for the season?
Oh, completely. Like, wins do just carry you and help. They build confidence and everything, so it definitely helped. Obviously you don't rely on it, but yeah, it was a strong start and we were very happy about that.
Oh yeah, because it was such a strong start that you outscored opponents 94-0 on game day 1. What do you think was working so well for you on both sides of the ball right from the start?
I think even before that, we worked hard in our pre-season and as a team, I think that time is so important to gel as a team going into the season. So yeah, spending the time training, getting all the basics sorted, and hopefully that carries on to the games.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's just as a team we gel really nicely. Our communication's quite good and we're continuing to work on it. Yeah.
No, yeah, for sure. And then moving to game day 2, so you shout London Flame and you dominate against Birmingham Lions. You followed with wins over Leicester Huntsmen and London Amazons. What's been the key to your consistently strong defensive performances?
So many things. Again, I think just how the team works well together, and like the coaching we get, I have to mention them because like our coaches are incredible, and the advice they give in training on the sidelines like just helps massively. I think our team are quite good at like tensions rise during games, but trying to keep calm is always really helpful, and trying to just keep your head in the game really helps. So, and especially having the sideline there to help ground people. Like we've had a big sideline all of our game days, and I definitely think that that's had a big impact on how our players are playing. Just having people cheer for you and rooting for you makes the world of difference.
And then just when you were talking there kind of obviously about kind of keeping calm and, you know, being like still in the game, your win over Birmingham Lions was a high scoring game. Do you think that was really key in you kind of facing that tougher kind of offensive challenge was kind of keeping head and moving forward?
Yeah, it definitely played a role in it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then you move to kind of game day 3. So you have convincing wins over Sydney Spears and London Flame. How do you think the team maintained such a high standard, obviously, throughout the season?
I think the work we're putting in the background definitely has something to do with it. We're training twice a week, putting the work in, and again, the coaches and their advice and their help is everything. And like just having the connection between our team is so key.
Yeah. And I suppose we do have to mention the one loss of the season. So obviously game day 4. So despite your strong win against Coventry Cougars earlier in the season, the rematch resulted in the only loss the team had. What lessons do you think you took from that game?
So much. So many lessons. And the thing is, they are such an incredible team, and like they showed why they've won 9 years, and like they're the champs. They brought their game, and we weren't quite there that day. And like obviously we showed in the win against them before that it's possible and that we can do it, and we need to remember that and just go and give it everything that we've got.
And then even after that, your team responded with back-to-back shutouts. So how did you think reset and refocus so quickly to come back from that?
I think it's the people around us and the sideline and the support that we've had is just having that positive like communication coming in is so key, because it's so easy to get in your head and your emotions rise and then like you're gone. But to have people speaking truth into you and kind of just set and refresh, we kind of like say to each other, be a goldfish, like just forget it, it's fine, just move on, you know what you're doing, you know, get the basics right and go from there and you do all right.
Yeah. And then I was kind of looking ahead to your kind of quarterfinals and hopefully further on, with an offense averaging 34.1 points per game, which puts you third in the league, and a defense allowing just 6.3 points per game, which puts you second. How do you think you strike the right balance between aggression and control, kind of in the knockout stages?
Yeah, it's tricky. Like, I don't really have an answer. We'll figure it out as we go.
We'll figure it out on the day, and it'll balance itself out eventually. Well, congratulations on making it to the quarterfinals. I'm now going to hand over to Dan, who will be speaking with Adam all about your kind of first opponents, the Giants, season so far.
That's good.
So I now have to do this, don't I? So I know it takes a little bit of a back and forth. There he is.
Hey.
Perfect.
Thanks for your patience, Adam.
It's okay. No,
Right,
leaving me on leaving me on till last. I tell you, I like to get these things done straight out the way. So like Lottie a minute ago was like, oh, it's great. I could watch backstage. I get more and more nervous as it goes on. I don't get any better. So I'm just full of energy now. So forgive me.
Full disclosure, we had a poll and all the girls said, not he's head coach, he goes last.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
We didn't
I've got
really.
no
We
qualms
didn't
with that, mate. No qualms with that.
So first of all, congratulations to you and the team for making it to quarterfinals. Great achievement for you this season. Obviously, as we know, only 8 teams making it, so great for you guys and girls to get there. So it's going to be good to get this from your perspective as a head coach. I say we've had players representing their teams, and we had Meg from London Flame who has played but hasn't played this season. So it was good to get a different perspective from her, but getting a head coach perspective actually is going to be really interesting. So obviously, before we start getting into your game, this season starts as a head coach. How was your preparation coming into the season?
Oh, I wish I could say it was a breeze, but it wasn't. So heading into the season, so it's worth giving a little context in that I'm quite heavily involved in the Giants organisation as a whole, indeed as well with the mixed flag team, and as a lot of the players on the women's team as well, also part of the mixed flag team and a core part of that. With us doing so well in the season, that season elongated because of course you've got playoffs and things like that. So that then really truncated the start of the women's season to get ready for that. So it was literally like, we're like, oh, we've got some off season, haven't we? No, we haven't. 100%. Let's go. Do you know what I mean? And it was like kind of straight into starting it all again. Which is just how it works, right? Same with uni ball and summer ball in contact. It's the same kind of thing. So yeah, I wish I could say we had loads of time and we could ease ourselves into it, but we couldn't. However, what I will say is a lot of those players, those key players on the team, were fighting fit. They just played a season and were coming on, and yes, there was some knocks and they were getting a bit tired and things like that, but with proper rehab and prehab and things like that as well, they were able to come in at quite a high level and didn't need that sort of rust knocking off to start the season. So swings and roundabouts, honestly, but I'd always ask for a couple more weeks if I could get them.
What we probably don't want going into the start of the season after, like you say, is going up against East Kilbride Black in your game day one, do you? It's really not what you really want.
Game day one, probably the favourites in the division. Yeah, that was a wonderful. Thanks, Baffer. I appreciate it. Yeah. So you're absolutely right. Yeah.
So game day one, you did have a couple of really successful results. So East Kilbride Pirates Red was a 52-0 win, and Cheshire Huskies was a 40-6 win. That was also, let's say, the Pirates was a 40-14 loss. But in terms of the first 2 games against the Reds and the Huskies, what did you take from that from a start of a season in terms of a winning and a good scoring differential as well?
Just pride, honestly. Again, a little bit of context. Last year we had a lot of vets it was their last hurrah. We really put a big year together for that and tried to go as well as we could. And we came 4th overall, which I was really pleased with. Especially as my first season as a coach as well. That's I was really pleased personally, not just for the team as well.
Yeah.
And this year, I want to say 85% of our team have been playing a year or 2 at the most. You know what I mean? They're like sort of 18 months in, which is a huge challenge. So for them to be able to step in after meeting EKP Black and that happening, to then settle themselves down and play, my whole philosophy is simple football. So they just need to play simple football, get out their own heads and just play the play that's in front of you, right? Just play the ball as it comes. And they did that. And my days, I'm so proud of the way that they then turned around and did well on both sides of the ball. Okay, because like you said, only conceding a single score across 2 games, and you can look at EKP Red and Cheshire Huskies and say, oh well, maybe they're not EKP Black. They're still a football team, and on any day, and you'll see this later in the season, on any day, any team can cause an upset, right? So it's huge, and we have to play to our level and not play to theirs, and that's the point. So yeah, really proud of the way that they settled into that first start of the season.
As much as I joked about playing EK Black on the first game day, it does allow you as a squad to kind of measure yourself right from the start. And just looking through the EK results there, you took the most points off them in the regular season in that game as well. Nobody else took more points off them than you guys in that game. So what did you learn from having that challenge or on game day one?
Yeah, honestly, it was a blessing in disguise, Dan. Again, you look at it, and as I say, oh, thanks, Baffy, for giving us that sort of draw to start. And traditionally, we've started slow in the game days as well, it's fair to say. So I'd like to say if we had them last, believe it or not, if we just flipped the game day round, I'd like to say it'd have been a heck of a game to watch, to be honest with you. I do think it would have been. That said, what an amazing source of inspiration EKP Black was for us, because we got to see the level at which they prepared for the game, the routes that they were running, the kind of warm-up drills that they were doing, things like that, the attitude that they took into the game. They take themselves not so serious, and that's fair to say, but they take the game very seriously.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful bit of inspiration ultimately from EKP. So yeah, to be able to see a team like that are pushing for, or winning a national title this year or next, or something like that, we get to see how far away we are from them, and it's not too far away, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, across the whole league, obviously, some results you look at and it looks as if there's miles between teams, but when you see it on game days, it really isn't. It just comes down to, like I've said, on fine margins can just make such a difference in terms of momentum swings on game days and stuff like that. Going into game day 2, I'm going to say it's probably the most balanced game day you could get, because he's won one, lost one, and tied one.
Yeah.
3 games in game day 2. What that tie you did get was against the Manchester Titans, so obviously a fellow quarter-finalist and a team that are very strong. You guys managed to get a tie against them, 15-all, so I'm assuming it was a two-pointers in there somewhere to get that game to a tie.
I want to say, and I might have got the order of events wrong, but I'm pretty sure they scored a safety late on in the game to score the tie. It was kind of ours to lose as such, if you want to call it that. And as Tika mentioned, that's no slight on them. They started a little slower in the season, perhaps. Again, our team, a lot of them were already game day ready from having the mixed season. The Manchester Titans started a little bit slow, so we really fancied it that first game day, it's fair to say. And so I feel a little bit not disappointed, but if we just got rid of the ball or whatever it was and got the point there. But then it made the rest of the season incredibly tense, because that draw, that tie, just makes the standings go crazy, right? And you just never know where you're at. So yeah, but it's always close. Us, Titans, and Samurai, I've got to say, some of the most fun, and we're all kind of local to each other, but they're some of the most fun games. I think the first game day last season, they all came to us, and we drew with we drew with Leeds, and we beat the Titans by 1 point. Do you know what I mean? So it's always super close. And you see later on, we lost to Leeds by a score. That's just how the game works. They're all such tight games constantly, and really, really good fun though.
Yeah, and then game day 3 was one. It was a bit of a disaster for everybody, with games getting abandoned due to the weather. So you did manage to get a win against the EK Pirates Red before the weather came in. So you've got a win on that game as well. So you kind of in the game day 3, you're sitting at 4-2-1, which halfway through, or just over halfway through the season, you happy with that position at that point?
Oh yeah, definitely. One of these things where we'd love to have played the other 2 games, to be honest with you, but I say I wish you'd have been there. I really don't wish you'd have been there. It was horrendous. We saw all sorts of things going off. At one point, a bit of cladding from a roof flew across the thing, and we were like, I think this is the point where we maybe stop the day. But fair play for all the teams showing up and doing their best to play. But yeah, it's just a crazy game of football, that.
Yeah. I mean, we spoke to the players on it, and they're like, yeah, that was a disaster with the weather wise. So yeah, probably good that the games didn't. I can imagine the ball going everywhere, trying to throw passes and stuff like that on that game day.
It was very much a heavy run game day. You'll be shocked to hear. Even the cones were flying about. We were putting K tape down on the ground to mark where the pitch was, believe it or not. I saw that and I was like, that's an amazing. Why don't we do that every time? Do you know, it's just the best idea ever.
Moving forward from that into game day 4, you then a 2-1 record on game day 4. This one did come down, basically the tiebreak between the Titans. At that point, they won 31-20, which gave them the tiebreak against you. But again, you're now sitting at the end of game day 4 at 6-3-1 after beating the Titans, Bees, and Aberdeen Snowcats. Again, good performances by your team, a 38-7 win and an 18-0 win. So a good performance on that. Takes to 6-3-1 at that point. So obviously we're looking at how we're going to get into the playoff and the seedings and stuff like that, getting into the last game. By that point, because of the tiebreaker with Manchester, positions were pretty much set for you guys by the end of game day 4. Was that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, actually, and this is like, I want to preface everything I'm about to say with, we really wanted to beat the Titans. So I'm not going to say we went in going, oh, we're not bothered. We tried to win that game. Okay, so let me be really clear. That said, I'm a real stats nerd, you'll be shocked to hear. Do you know what I mean? I've got a spreadsheet for everything and that kind of thing. So I knew by the end of the Aberdeen game, because Aberdeen was really the team where they'd got a lot of wins early in the season. They were looking to probably knock out either us or the Titans. from making the finals. So it was like, right, we need this to work, and I think Aberdeen lost to Titans Bees or something like that, and then we beat them, which meant that essentially it didn't matter what happened. Then we were making it to playoffs anyway, and it was just seeding at that point. So the pressure came off immediately, but I think also then we took our foot off the pedal, it's fair to say. And that is not to say we went easy. We tried to win that game against the Titans, but I think mentally we were so kind of relieved that, especially with that tie, that, okay, we kind of know where we are now. We're going to Ravenscraig, whatever.
Yeah.
Then, of course, at the end of a tough day of football anyway, and the Titans just getting better and better every week, and it showed. Fantastic game, but
as you said, sometimes mentally it's just like when you know there's maybe not as much riding on something, to keep that intensity up sometimes can be a bit more difficult. And like you said, as Tika said, they kind of got stronger as the season went on as well. So it wasn't a game to be ashamed of losing. It was a great win, and it was 31-20, so it wasn't as if there was anything else in that. So game day 5, you finish on 1-1 record, but by that point, as we've just said, the results kind of didn't really make a difference. He's finished the regular season with a 7-4-1 record, which got you into the playoff. But you guys were the second highest scoring team in the HNC conference. What do you put that down to? You scored 325 points across all your games, which is a 27-point a game average, which is nothing to be sniffed at. Four touchdowns a game, pretty much.
Yeah, it was huge. And I've got to say as well, a lot of them are defensive scores as well. We had quite a few pick sixes and things like that. And to look at, again, a few other stats, because I'm again, stats nerd here. Apologies, although no apologies, I love it. Well, that's why I play the game, right? But you look at the amount of shutouts that we got. I think we got 4 shutouts on the season as well. And then 2 other games where we kept them to under a score. You know what I mean? So it was like 7 points off you as well. So defensively, we had an absolutely phenomenal season. Just playing simple defense, and that team now, that's been together for the last 2 years now. That structure it was pretty much the first thing I did when I joined as a coach, is put the defensive structure together. So that is something that the team knows and loves and backs, and that confidence is showing every time. But then, to be able to take some of our newer players, we've got a player called Joan, and she'd never played a team sport in her life, a swimmer by trade as such, and coming in and then playing at slot receiver for us, and just having a great year. Having the likes of Marta Matthews, of course, European MVP as a receiver, doesn't hurt necessarily. But also a big thing that we did this year as well is we swapped Marta and Katie Ferguson, Fergie, that we swapped their positions. Traditionally, Marta was a strong side receiver, so a Z receiver, and Fergs was X receiver, and we decided to swap them round. They weren't too sure at first, it's fair to say. But I've got to say, both of them have had phenomenal seasons. Fergie, I want to say it's been a breakout year for her. She's been playing the game, longer than I have even. But that said, just a marvelous year. She's found herself in a lot more space and that kind of thing. So we're just slowly but surely tweaking things and coming together as a team. It's quite a young team in experience overall, as I've mentioned already. But I'm really, really excited for the future, and we've got a heck of a pipeline coming up from just holding the badge there from the academy as well. So in the future years, we're going to see some of those. We've got some like 3 or 4 under 16s coming through now that are wanting to be playing women's flag when we get there as well. So I'm looking forward to shaping them as well.
Excellent. So just to kind of sum up and finalise your chat about your regular season, Adam, being the head coach, I need to put you on the spot with these next 2 questions.
Okay.
One thing from your team that impressed you this season in the regular season, and one thing you think you could really need to improve, or not really, or you need to improve on going into finals day?
Yeah, okay. The one thing that impresses me all the time is just the players' belief and teamwork, right? And ultimately, I say this all the time, and this is such a cliche in team sports, right? But we are genuinely a family, right? We love each other to bits. We fight and fall out like you've never seen in your life. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we all want what's best for the team. We all want to win. We all want to have fun, which is the key for us. And so what I'm really proud of is the way that even though we disagree, and we might not see eye to eye on how to approach something, what play should be in the playbook, how we do this, that, and the other, how we scout for a certain team, ultimately we all settle in together, love each other at the end, and come together in just a way that's beyond heartwarming, Yeah. And that's, I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this team. And I'm only on the sideline, right? They're the heroes that are out there doing the thing. I'm just sat on the sideline waving a flag and cheering them on. That's all you can do really at that point.
Yeah. And then, so one thing you think you need to improve on as a squad going into finals day to give yourselves that opportunity to progress?
This is going to sound again really cliche, but in a lot of ways fundamentals, right? We've got newer players that have maybe been thrown in, not at the deep end as such, but been thrown in and not really had chance and time with that truncated preseason to get up to speed. It's been, look, come on, we're running 100 miles an hour. You need to start, you need to start there. But also some of our seasoned vets as well, playing at such a high level, it's so easy to forget the basics sometimes. So the key really in this next couple of training sessions as we go into prep for Ravenscraig is, it sounds silly at this side of the season, but it is just fundamentals. At this point, we don't need to change anything major. Doing so is only a detriment anyway. We could completely change the playbook just the day before finals if we want, but who's that going to help, right? So we know what we're doing. We're already set there. We just need to execute it well. And so it's all going to be fundamentals and fun. And I like what Holly said on your previous podcast, by the way, from Titans, saying about how it's a celebration of the year. I couldn't agree with that more. Yeah, whatever happens on the day, and it really, to me, I want to win, obviously, but it doesn't matter. The point is we got there, and we got there with a team of, like I said, for the most part, rookies, and I'm beyond proud. I'm beyond proud.
Excellent. I'll remind you of that. We'll clip that and remind you of on finals day when you're on the sideline going crazy and you're like, Adam, you said it didn't matter.
You did. Yeah, fair enough. Get ready to meme that.
Excellent. Well, as I said, it's that. Congratulations to you and your team for making it to finals day, Adam. We are really looking forward to seeing you and the girls on the day. So what we do now is we bring Lottie back in and we'll talk about your quarter-final matchup with the two of you. If you could do the honours, Sarah. Welcome back, Lottie.
She appears.
Seamless.
Lottie's now sitting backstage, so she's had a chance to think about what she's going to say now that she's listened to Adam. So, in terms of the matchup. So basically, without giving away, this obviously is without you both giving away game plans, because we don't want you to ruin things for yourselves going into finals day. But Lottie, having what you know about Sheffield and kind of maybe what you've heard Adam saying tonight, how do you prepare for this game? What you're expecting from them?
Well, it's so hard this year because obviously last year we got the opportunity to play them and see you in person, but this year, like, because we've been separate, like, I don't know. In that sense, like, we haven't seen them, so we can only do what we've been doing so far, which is just bring in all we've got and we'll give it our best shot.
Yeah. How do you think you as a team will shape up against the Sheffield team? Like, obviously we mentioned they don't give up a lot of points in a lot of their games. How do you guys are obviously quite a high score, no offence, obviously it's going to be a great matchup, but how do you kind of shape up against that, do you think?
Yeah, as you say, I hope like it will be a great game and we're really looking forward to that. Yeah, I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I think that's something like across the whole, like you guys mentioned, obviously with the split this year and the two divisions have been the way they are, not seeing each other.
Exactly.
It's probably hard, obviously, the potential, and which is now a good thing, is like game tape is now starting to come out more and more. Like the coverage like the sport is getting is obviously great for people wanting to watch it, but for coaches and players, it's like everybody can see what we're doing now, as opposed to before it was always all cloak and dagger. Unless you played someone, you actually had no idea what they did. But Adam, as a head coach, how do you prepare for a team that you've not seen for a year? You can only see the results.
I wish I knew. Yeah, no. To be fair, whenever we play the Panthers, one thing, it's been a shame to not see you, Lottie, and see your team, to be honest, because we always get on so well with the Panthers, and we were fortunate enough to be invited to Panther Bowl right at the beginning of the season as well. That was a great way to see you guys and meet, and it's always just a really exciting game and quite a close game as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like last year, it was really close. I think it was like within 1 point, like the in-season
literally like 2 plays from the end. I think you guys scored. And that was it, like from a penalty, and then that was it. It was craziness.
Fine margins again.
Yeah, but in terms of preparation, as Lottie said, it's really hard because we've got next to, as much as there's film around, we've got next to no film really to see. We can assume they're doing the same as last year, but I think honestly that's a sword for your own back if you do that. Any team going into a new year is going to change something up. So we just have to play our game, and I always say this, we'll play Sheffield football and see how we get on. Yeah,
I mean, obviously to make it further this year, you're going to have to stop this high-flying offence that they've got. Like, obviously, as we just said, you've not seen them, but looking at the scores and they've got high-powered offence. How do you prepare for that in general? Not specifically maybe the Panthers, but when you know a team is that high scoring, how do you prepare your team for that?
Yeah, defensively, we have to change a few things when we know that it's a really high-powered offense. Typically, we find that, and this isn't going into too much with tactics, I don't think, but typically we find that teams can get really frustrated if they don't score often, if they're used to scoring early.
Yeah.
So yeah, as a coach, and I think this is not sharing all that much, to be honest with you, behind the scenes, but when a team is used to scoring often, if they struggle to score early in a game, they start to get a little bit frustrated, and that can be really, mentally a challenge. So defensively, our big thing is going to be, let's just try and make it as difficult as possible for them to score that first couple of points and see what happens from there, really. You never know. Any team on any day can beat any team on any day, right?
Yeah.
And we see what happens. But,
Yeah.
They're a high-scoring team, as you've mentioned already, Dan. So are we. So let's let the fireworks go.
Exactly. Just no defense. That's what we want to see. We just want to see all offense from both.
Yeah, we'll not even bother. We'll just put a shoe on instead. Do you know what I mean?
That's it. Like, you just score, give us the ball. Like, it's just. No, I mean, it's as a matchup. Looking at the points, like I said, the points that you both teams have scored this season, it's a matchup that is going to be great to watch. See, I don't know how. I think there's going to be 2 pitches at Ravenscraig. I don't know how we're going to split ourselves up to see, so we can all see both games that are at the same time, because there's not a single game that I want to miss in these quarter-final matchups, so I don't know how we're going to manage to do that.
I'll need to bring like mirrors to like hold like watch one and like just flip your head. I'll be like the tennis. I'll be like, where am I going?
It's worth noting, this is, I think it's a 3rd place rematch from last year as well, Lottie.
Yeah.
And we were on the other pitch. We were moved off to the other pitch, if you remember, at the time. We got the one pitch that was being streamed, and we weren't the favourites all of a sudden when the final was on. We were on the side and just having a good laugh. Do you know, it was my favourite game all day. Genuinely, I think we had the most fun in that game.
And it's really nice to be able to enjoy it, because the stress comes as you head to finals, especially like with this gap. Like there's so much lead up to it, but like we genuinely are really looking forward to it, and like to see people that we haven't seen over a year because of how the seasons work. Like, yeah, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, so what Lottie's just saying is we're just adding to that pressure by having you on to talk about it in this gap between us. So it's like,
cheers, Dan. Cheers, Sarah.
Leave us alone. Let us prepare for it. We don't want to talk about it. We're too stressful. So no, that's great. I mean, what I say, we're looking forward to seeing this game. It's going to be don't disappoint us. Now, don't make it a 7-7. Now we've given it this build up. Please don't make it a 8-7 games decided on the last play.
There's going to be a single safety scored, and that's it.
It's 2-0 flag football games. 2-0 flag football games should be put in the bin. I'll tell you that right now. No, I'm really looking forward to this and all the other matchups. So good luck to both you teams on the 22nd. But can't wait to see you.
Thank you.
Sarah, do you want to bring everybody else back in?
I'll bring everybody back, and I'll do my t-shirt spiel for everybody again. As a quick reminder, if you didn't listen to the last episode, I will accept bribes with t-shirts. I will happily swap t-shirts out all day, so feel free to bring me one. Gavin wears a size small, for reference. So yeah, feel free to.
Yeah, that's one thing we've not been very good at this year, is getting our own merch. So we're just trying to plagiarise the team's merches, and we'll happily support a team for a bribe or a t-shirt or a hat. That's great. But again, to you all, congratulations to making the finals day on the 22nd. Anybody that's watching or listening, get yourself along to Ravenscraig and Motherwell on the 22nd to watch out these 8 phenomenal teams battle out to become national champions. Sarah, thank you for co-hosting with me tonight.
No problem. Some technical errors on my side, but that which is odd. But it was great. I'm so looking forward to this 22nd. It's going to be absolutely immense to watch these incredible women play. Just makes me so happy. So yeah.
Thank you to you 4 again tonight. I know you've got a lot of prep going on ahead of the finals day, so we do really thank you for giving up your time to talk to us tonight. We just want to give this game as much exposure as we possibly can, and helping us out by coming on makes us be able to do that. So thank you very much to the 4 of you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Dan.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. We will have you back again. Do not worry. This will not be the end of, you won't hear from us again in the future. We are just getting started with covering this sport. So don't commit yourself too much, because we will be back a lot if you do. Hopefully everyone that is watching, listening, enjoyed preview 2 for the Women's Flag Football Finals Day. If you haven't checked out episode 1, make sure you do. It's available on all podcast platforms on our YouTube. And thank you to everyone that is listening and watching for listening and watching. Make sure you follow us on Instagram to keep up to date with what we've got coming next. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube and our Instagram to see what's coming up next. Until next time, we'll see you soon.